Productivity is a skill all of us want. We strive to do more every day to further our careers, relationships, and help us to become the best person that we can. However, for most, this can be a hard thing to do. We make excuses, use external factors to stop us from doing something, and one of the biggest being our phones and social media. These are used to distract us from the outside world and force our hand into becoming the person we said we wouldn't. I wanted to challenge myself this week. Find out if being productive in every single hour that you work really does push your business forward, or if you try to focus on too many different things, it doesn't actually do anything. This week I really wanted to see if I was pushing the right areas for the right reasons. I don't know if I'm spreading myself too thin, or if I should be focusing on certain areas to become a person within that niche. Now, don't get me wrong, I am in a niche, and within the streaming community, that is something I try to do. However, I still felt I was trying too much in too many different places. So this is why I challenge myself. For every hour that I work this week, it would have to be something that pushes my business forward for the right reasons. Not something like scrolling endlessly through social media for no reason, or doing nothing that's actually going to help. But something that will push me, my business, my content to the next level and help me really establish who I wanted to be. And the first thing that I'd done was scheduled my day. If you've watched any other of my videos, you will know that this year I've dedicated time each week to schedule my plans for the following one. It has allowed me to push my content further forward than I ever thought I could, whilst also maintaining healthy relationships outside of content creation. You see, when we get addicted to bettering ourselves, we tend to let other areas of our life drift. Whether that be family time, the gym, social life, and all the other hobbies that we already have. In order to make the best content that you can, you need to look after your mind and body first. You will create worse and worse content, digging yourself deeper into a hole because it isn't working, and that's when the snowball effect will continue to drag you down. The previous week, I'd fallen a little off my normal content. I still released a YouTube video, my podcast came out, which you can check out by the way, and more. The start of the week was like any other. When you're pushing to new avenues, you usually start off strong. If you're wanting to go to the gym, you'll probably go for the first week, 5 days that week, and then start to fall off. I expected exactly that with what I'd done. The week would progress and my work would decline. But I was wrong. So we've actually kicked off the day by working on this video as a whole for all of you to see. And now we're going to be editing some clips for Twitter and social media. You know, one of the important things you're doing as a content creator, if you're doing live streaming platforms alone, you need to increase your discoverability somehow. And by doing that, editing clips and putting them on with different captions on Twitter or Instagram or any social media platform is allowing you to get your content out there for a couple 100,000 people to see, instead of someone scrolling down a browse page and not really doing anything. So that's what we're going to be doing for the next 45 minutes. And after that, we're going to be doing an Instagram shoot for a post that's going up tonight. One of the questions I get asked a lot about is taking time for myself. And you can actually see within the calendar, I did. There were some times throughout the week where I made sure that I was taking an hour away from myself to be away from everything. Now I know with football or going to see my gran or spending time with family, that is a little bit different because you're still doing something. But with the hour on myself for those specific days, I was able to just relax and try to not think about social media, keeping up with my podcast, my YouTube videos, anything, and maybe spending time playing games or going to the gym or just spending time with myself. Some people can take less breaks than others. Some people need a little bit more time for themselves, and that's perfectly fine. Everyone needs different time, and everyone needs to reevaluate what they're doing if they are pushing themselves beyond their limit. One of the things I try to do is sort of push myself to that limit, where the limit is just up above, but I am just below it, so I am not burning out and not pushing myself to stop wanting to create content altogether. I have found what works for me, and that is over 3 months of refining my scheduling, seeing what I'm spending too much time on, too little time on, and how much of a break I need. For you, that's going to be different, but the only way to find out is if you actually try and see what works. At some points when you first start out, you're going to mess up a lot, but in order to find what works for you, you're going to have to try, and scheduling is what can help with that. Often with these things, you start off something and it becomes a little bit more tedious as you move on. So far, on day 2, We've pushed through with quite a lot and actually probably got a lot more work done than we did in a long time. But what you have to understand as to why scheduling your content or being more organised with what you're doing is so important, well, this week will show it. One of the main challenges this week, and one of the reasons I actually done this, was because I wanted to see how far I could push myself, whilst also looking after me mentally and physically. I've been going to the gym, I've seen family, and will be doing the same for the rest of the week. It's not about pushing yourself to beyond the limits that you're actually capable of, but utilising all your time that you have to your advantage and actually making it focused. Right, okay, so we're in day number 2 now, and we're actually kicking it off a little bit earlier. It's 20 past 10 at the moment, and yeah, we're going to be smashing out today. Yesterday we got 11 hours of work done. This wasn't including some like family time, going to the gym, making my dinner, doing some housework. That's not including that, but I'll lay it all out for you at the end. Let's kick off day number 2. I'm going to smash it again. As the week progressed, I actually got a lot of work done. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday were all very, very productive days. A lot more productive than I thought it was going to be. And I targeted content with my stream, YouTube, podcasts and social media as well. There was a lot that was going for me, but I realised that I might have been spreading myself a little bit too thin and was opening my eyes to different areas in which I wanted to target. What I realised was that I was going into too many different avenues because, well, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And this is what this week has allowed me to start to find and start to develop into the person I'm truly wanting to be. So this is actually the first time we've sat down and actually talked about how the week's been going. I didn't want to do it right away, and I wanted to leave it until, well, maybe the end of the week, when I'd actually been the most productive that I could, well, quantify what it was. It's Thursday right now, we've just had our mentoring sessions, and actually the week has gone a lot better than I thought. On Monday we worked 11 hours, Tuesday was 13 hours, Wednesday was 12, and today so far, well, we've done a decent bit, but that will continue for the rest of the day. You see, being productive isn't really about being busy, and a lot of people always tend to get that mixed up. You know, being productive and actually pushing your content forward takes a lot of planning and a lot of work, because sometimes we are being busy when we're not actually pushing our business further forward. We need to realise what is important, why it's important, and really striving to be our best self. Productivity is something that comes over time as well. You're probably going to mess up a lot when you first start planning your content and trying to be more focused. Even if you're not planning your content right now, you're probably wasting your time on a few things. That doesn't mean you can't start working on it. I mean, this video is to hopefully help you realise that if you're actually focused in what you're doing and making targeted stuff, you will push your brand further forward. So far, we've done mentoring, podcast planning, YouTube shooting like we're doing right now, made exclusive videos for Twitter, Instagram posts. You know, we have done a lot. Doesn't mean we can't do more. This week is not to show you that you have to do and have to work 13 hours a day, because some of you can't actually do that. I mean, for me, that was probably the maximum I could do with the other things and other commitments that I have outside of this. But it's to show you that using every single time that you have free to work on stuff is really, really worthwhile. To be brutally honest, I haven't seen the success that I want to see just yet. And that could be for a variety of reasons, for my content not being good enough, for me not pushing for the right content, making the right choices at the right times. There could be tons of factors. More often or not, they're just excuses. And it actually makes me want to work harder. And this is why I want to show you and make these types of videos. I want to document my life as I go from year to year, month to month, and testing myself in new areas to find where I sort of fit in. One of the reasons for doing this, or pursuing this week anyway, was to find out a little bit more about myself. I've been struggling recently to find ways in which I want to go down, and feel that I've been spreading myself a little bit thin in different areas. Maybe pushing too much on social media for things that really don't matter, and not pushing for certain areas that I believe in a little bit more. Now, I feel through all of this journey, and with what we're doing with this and what we're trying to move forward with, I'm going to be more honest with you in the content that I'm doing. And this is why we're moving into these types of videos, to help document this journey. the times where I'm not feeling as good, and maybe the times I'm on the top of the world, because these are the times where we learn the most about ourselves. I don't even know right now what direction to go in. This week has tried to push for a variety of areas to find places where I am more passionate about than others, whether that be with the podcast, with building a website, or something external that I haven't actually started yet. For me, what I'm thinking right now is trying to move into the more business orientated side, something I've always been interested in and something I've always wanted to do. I understand that money does make the world go round, and you have to make a certain amount of income to be able to live a comfortable life doing this full time. And for me, that isn't with the likes of Twitch streaming. I'm thinking over the past few weeks about rebranding myself, trying to find different ways to just be more about me, just having that authenticity of, hey, this is me and this is who I am. This is probably going to take months, and over the next few months you'll probably see quite a difference in what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to push for. In 2019 I tried to find myself and find who I wanted to be and who I am. It's not that I haven't found myself, it's just not that I've found the passion that I want yet. I know everything I enjoy to do, especially with this, and something I'm probably going to push for more, because I want to document my life and things that are happening within it, even in the poorer times. I'm hoping as well is that I can look back on this and help educate others that, you know, it doesn't always have to work out the way it works out, and you might fail and will fail every single day, but this is where we learn the most. So it is now Friday afternoon at the moment, it's 1:30 right now, and we're getting close to kind of finishing the sort of productive week. Saturdays and Sundays are a little bit harder for me. Sundays I do work a lot, but Saturdays I can barely kind of be on with football and work and all that sort of stuff. But so far the week has been good. We have done a lot of work. I believe Monday was 12 hours, Tuesday was 13, Wednesday was 11, Thursday's been 12, and so far we've done 5, but it's only 1:30, so we've got a lot of time throughout the day to do anything. Today's actually going to be a lot of focus on a secret project I'm working on. This is something I'm going to be working on for the next few months to try and push a little bit forward and also grow my business in a sense. You know, what I've wanted to do and what I've said I'm going to do now is start to document my life as a whole and me pushing for different areas within my business. I mean, that's what I'm going to be trying to do. That's what I'm going to be trying to push for. And I hope this is something I can look back on doing these videos, seeing the first one I've ever done being this and saying how crap it was. But how much we learned and what we can then help educate people in the future. Actually, at this point of the week, and as you've just seen in the last sort of when I was talking, that was last night, so that was Thursday night I was talking about it. And it was a little bit eye-opening this week. You know, there's been things that I've done and things that I'm trying to learn and trying to see which direction to go down. And it's been hard, don't get me wrong, it definitely has been. But hopefully I can learn more about that and learn more about who I want to be within this industry. And these videos are going to help with that. By the end of this week, we had worked a total of 59 hours. That was 59 opportunities to push my business further forward. I worked more than this. However, I made sure to take time out for the gym, football, travel and family time. This week allowed me to get more of an insight into what routes I should be taking and the new avenues I want to go down. I may not have found exactly who I want to be yet. That doesn't mean I will not continue to search. I challenge all of you to do the same, to push yourself to use every hour you have free to make it a productive one and see how far you can take yourself. You'd be amazed what focused content can do. This week alone, I actually learned a lot about the work that I'm doing and the work that I'm trying to push at the moment. I see myself maybe focusing too much on a wide variety of areas and possibly spreading myself a little bit thin, something I think we all try to do. But I don't think it's a bad thing. The thing is, what many of us do is try to find this area that we are truly passionate about. That for me still hasn't been truly found yet, but is getting closer to that stage. For some others, it might take a lot longer to even find. I mean, I know people who have searched their whole life to find what they're passionate about. I'm lucky in the sense that I found something I know I want to be a part of, just not know where I want to push myself yet. With all these hours worked, you're probably wondering, so what actually got done then? And well, on the screen here, you'll see a few things that I got done, and there was a lot more than that. A total of 59 hours were worked this week. And I know more than this was done with the likes of the gym, going to see family, football, social media work, more meetings, potential sponsorships, and so on. I mean, I would not be able to mention everything. I was proud of myself for staying focused on tasks that needed to get done and not straying away from completing them. The secret project work that keeps coming up is now in the works, with the logo being paid for and the website already being started. All thanks to this one targeted week. The lessons I've learned from this week will be something that I will take further in my career and as I go forward. With new YouTube videos in the works to really push me and my content forward, as well as taking out some of the things that were just not worth my time. This has opened my eyes to many different avenues and has allowed me to see where I really want to focus on. You've already seen the Google Calendar earlier on in the week about what I was planning to get done, and all of it I did. If you're looking to be more productive, scheduling content and having focused and targeted areas is definitely the best way to go. You're able to find out what works for you, what you're spending too much time on and too little time on, and you're also able to sort of find out where you want to start focusing. Being productive doesn't mean being busy. And a lot of people misinterpret that and think that when you are being productive, you're really getting stuff done. In reality, you're probably just being busy. Replying to people in DMs, although it's fantastic, you're getting to know the people around you. You can't do that all the time. You need to look at something for long term. Look at future projects and things that are going to build a viable business for the future. It's not to say that replying to DMs isn't good, because the most important people are those who you're surrounded by, those who you want to be surrounded by, and those you can learn from. But it's not to say you should waste your whole day doing just that when you could be pushing your business further forward. If you're working on a project or streaming for 8-9 hours a day and are not really enjoying it after the 6th hour, why not cut it back and start working on something that you do enjoy a little bit more, that's pushing your business further forward? There are many ways to go about this, and some ways will work for you when some won't work for others. But it's about finding that and finding where you want to go. I'm looking forward to making the next video on this, and if you do have any suggestions, please be sure to let me know, as this is my first time actually ever trying this sort of video with doing the voiceovers since actually the first video we ever done in the day of the life of a content creator. There's a few things that are coming up in the future and a few changes that are going to be happening with me, this channel, and maybe my other social medias as well. So be sure to keep on a lookout for that, as I'll probably will ask some of your questions about that in the future. Let's learn to be more productive and push our business further forward to a place we never actually thought we could. Have a fantastic day.